Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought was a good time to start my June flashback reading vlog. This is the 6th part in a 12-part series that I am posting this month, December 2020, and each video flashes back to something I was reading in the perspective month. My initial goal for this was to not only revisit the year of 2020, but also just see what I was reading every single month, maybe talk about a favorite that I found throughout the year that I'm going to be talking about at the end of the month. However, 2020 has been a shit show, let's be honest, but it's just been a crazy year, and I honestly don't know if this was the best year to do this project, but for the sake of the project, I am going to forge ahead. But for this one, I have a whole bunch of short things here. So I don't know if I'm going to make it like a short books thing, if I'm going to make it a poetry thing, if it's just going to be reading a lot of new short stuff that I have. But I have 4 poetry collections and then 2 short books, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to end up reading, but I just thought I would share because it's going to be from this, because like I said, I'm not able to concentrate on focus on reading for long periods of time, but for short bursts I do pretty well. So I just thought I would show you all of the more recent purchases that are short. Oh, sorry, there's 3 books and 3 poetry collections. I should probably divide that a little bit better. I think this is, yes. I have Animal Farm by George Orwell, and I have read this before. I've actually read it several times, but I never had my own copy. I've read it for school and they always let us borrow a copy, or I've gotten it from the library, but I finally purchased my very own copy. It's very short. It is only 95 pages, so it won't take me very long to read this at all. I got this edition from Book Depository. That's why it has this little bookmark in it. But yeah, I like this edition. I think it's a very important story, and I actually get a lot of hate on my 1984 by George Orwell sucks video. I always constantly get comments on that, but I stand by it. That book sucked. This one, on the other hand, is really good. And I picked this up. I wanted to own a copy because it's Ariel Basset's favorite book, and I wanted to do a whole reading vlog of reading some of her favorites. But I think I'm just going to go ahead. I might possibly read it for this. I have Fever Dream by Samantha. I don't know how to say the author's last name. And it has a very weird cover. I think this is a novella. It's written where there's big margins at the top and big margins at the bottom. The author is originally from Buenos Aires, but now lives in Berlin. So it's a translated book as well. So I don't know too much about what it's about. It's an experience, the blazing surreal sensation of a fever dream. The next book I actually got on recommendation from Bree Hill. I found Bree's channel through Allie's channel at Mrs. Dunn Reads. We were just talking in Allie's comments of one of her videos, and I hopped over to Bree's channel, and I've been just binging her videos. She reads a lot of romance and stuff like that, but because of everything that's going on, she recommended some books that feature black main characters or black authors and stuff like that. And one that she recommended is this one, Passing by Nella Larson. This one is a 1929 novella. It follows friends Irene Redfield and Claire Kendry, 2 black women who pass as white. Oh yeah, it sounds really good, but what really made me buy it is that the author, Nella Larson, is an American writer of the Harlem Renaissance, and I recently read a collection of short stories that were like written around the Harlem Renaissance. So this is another book that I can read surrounding that time. And I just find that time like very interesting. Poetry. The first one that I have here is called Black Movie. I think this was another recommendation from Bree. Anyway, this was his 2015 collection. I just thought that I will really get a lot from this. I heard that there's like one poem in here that I'm like really scared to read because it's going to be really sad. Next up, I have Shame is an Ocean. I Swim Across by Mary Lambert, and I absolutely love the cover of this. It's actually like erased, like almost like bubbles, and here's what the back looks like. But this says, imagine your heart as a Hitchcock movie, okay? Imagine a shower curtain. My brain is a lurking shadow, crooked sometimes, not there. When I was 6 and they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, my eyes got big and I said space. There was no more room in my head. I wanted to write something redemptive tonight, but the shame is so loud it has become thick in my eardrum. I could paint the world with it, gigantic. The last one that I have, another beautiful cover, is called Life of the Party, and it's by Olivia Gatewood, the author of New American Best Friend. I have not heard of either. This one, I'm not quite sure either. I'm a good girl, bad girl, dream girl, sad girl, girl next door, sunbathing in the driveway. I want to be them all at once. I want to be all the girls I've ever loved. So I have this collection of small things that I'm thinking about reading. I don't know what I'll actually get to, but I will let you know. Maybe I'll read all of it. Maybe I'll read none of it. Who knows? But I just thought I would give you a little sampling of what I've got going on. Hello friends, it's Friday. You're balanced on the books that I showed you. I am going to go outside and enjoy a little bit of sunshine and hopefully read some of these books. That's the plan. Let's see what actually happens. Okay, I did make it outside. I'm not sure what I want to read first. I was thinking the shortest thing here is this poetry collection, which, yes, Bree Hill is the one that recommended this to me. She is a new to me booktuber, but her content is freaking amazing. If you are not subscribed to her, I will have her channel linked down below, because I've already gotten two of these books in this little vlog are recommendations based off of her. And I recently watched, I think yesterday, I watched her currently reading, where she wrapped up the books that she previously read and what she's currently reading, and she's just so like good with synopsises and explaining like synopses, however you say it, how like what she liked, what she didn't, and like I envy people like that. So anyway, I think I'm gonna read this one. We'll see what happens, but I'll keep you updated. This came out in 2015. Wow. Okay, so right here, opening, very powerful, because if I'm honest, people in the white world might be appalled, but in the black world, they're making myths out of me, and I know that ain't the life. John Singleton. Wow. I'm about to be shook. Holy wow. Am I going to be quoting this entire collection to you? Probably. Got to the first poem, Sleeping Beauty in the Hood. Goes, in the film, townsfolk name themselves Prince Charming. Queue up to wake the Sleeping Beauty. Let's name her Jamal. Let's make her everyone's brother or play cousin.
All the princes press a kiss to Jamal's wax-dipped lips. All the princes sing songs and kill dragons, but Jamal won't wake up. You mad? This ain't no kid flick. There is no magic here. The fairies get killed too. The kingdom has no king, and all the red in this cartoon is painted with blood. The apples, the velvet robes, Jamal's cold mouth. Wow. Talk about, like, strength in words and strength in visualization. I'm already shook, so let's continue. I don't want to read every poem in this collection to you, because I want you to buy this collection already. I'm on poem number 3. I'm just going to read you the last stanza. Just when you think the lights are going ghost, he scans the crowd, picks the youngest brown boy within reach, hands him a pistol, whispers, play. That almost literally brought tears to my eyes. So, yeah, I can already tell this is like a mega important collection, and I'm going to be buying other stuff by this poet. So let's just go ahead and continue, and I'll check in when I'm finished with the collection.
Butterflies are floating like your red hair in the breeze. Spring awakening, new love takes me into lilac dreams. Lay beside me, whisper softly your sweet empathy. Crisp reflections on the water of you close to me.
Alright friends, I just finished Black Movie, this poetry collection, and I'm absolutely going to be picking up other stuff by this poet. I'm really excited to read more of his work. It was super powerful. I'm not going to say I enjoyed it because it was harsh and in your face, and it's what people need right now. I'm rating this collection 4 out of 5 stars. I loved the themes and messages. I loved the nod to specific people that have been killed by white cops, and I really loved the layout and the creative like style, like specifically this one right here, super powerful. The only thing that I didn't really like was the Lion King in the hood, because it had several parts to it. It had like the cast list, had the opening credits, it had the opening scene, The Circle of Interrupted Life, the song Oh, I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Then it had song Be Prepared, and then scene Mufasa dies at the hands of his brother Scar, and then the montage of Timon and Pumbaa singing Simba a music other than the blues, and then Simba comes home to kill his uncle, and then the closing credits. So that took up quite a bit of this collection, and I wasn't a super fan of that. So that took up 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 pages of this very already short collection. It's not that it was bad, it's just that it didn't fit in this collection, but it definitely still had like important messages and stuff like that. So yeah, I highly recommend this if you read poetry, if you're looking to expand your library of like different poets that maybe you haven't tried before, Black poets. Definitely check this one out. I really liked it. It made me feel all of the emotions, and The Secret Garden in the Hood, that was like super powerful. and the scene, Portrait of a Black Boy with Flowers, oh my goodness, it was very powerful and very moving and very eye-opening. So 4 stars for this one, and I will definitely be picking up stuff by this poet in the future. Following that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick up Passing by Nella Larson. This is, I think it like either takes place during the Harlem Renaissance, but she was an American writer in the Harlem Renaissance, and I'm just really excited to dive more into that history of that time period with this novella. So yeah, and it follows 2 friends, Irene Redfield and Claire Kendry, 2 Black women who pass as white.
But it's so hard to get to you, 'cause when you see the sun, I see the moon. Buckets of water, millions of clouds, miles of road just to get where you are.
Hi friends, it's many days later. It took me forever to read this. I finally busted it out last night and this morning. It is the 22nd, 21st, 22nd. I don't know. I'll figure it out and let you know. But yeah, I finished this, and this is hard for me to rate because like there were parts of it that I really liked and the ending was really good, but the writing style, like I don't know why it didn't click with me, that the author, like the time period, that this wasn't gonna feel like a classic, you know, written in that classic style. It's not modernized. Like the story is really interesting about 2 women, that one is passing as white and she's married to this racist, horrible man that's white, and the other one is married to a black man and they have kids, and she lives in like the black community and the other one does not, but the one that's passing as white misses that community, that part of her culture, and when she runs into Irene, she tries to really insert herself into Irene's life because she misses being around black people. Ending though, I was not expecting that, and it was just like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I would recommend it if you don't know what passing is, or if you don't know that it's like a thing, or you want to learn more about the experience of it. I would recommend it for that, but before you read it and like maybe even educate yourself outside of this book, like what passing is and like how prevalent it could have been during the time period of this book, I still want to do kind of my own research after reading this, and also look up like black reviewers like thoughts about this book. I'm gonna go search for more. I know that my friend Livy has a review of this. I know Bree has a review of this, or like a recommendation. I don't know if she has like a specific review, but ones that I find I will link down below about this book, because I think people in the black community like absolutely love this book, and it is really good. I think it was just the writing itself, and like the beginning was, I mean, I read like I think I was on page like 16, and I was like, I have to get the audiobook. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get through this because the writing was just not modernized. And that's just me and my poor crappy taste. So I think I'm gonna give it a strong 3 stars. I wanna give it, I don't know, should I give it 4? I don't know. Anyway, that's my experience with Passing. Really enjoyed. I just wish that it was a little bit stronger in certain areas, and like there was a lot of downtime. That's what I mean about stronger in certain areas. The beginning was really slow. It was like almost like she receives the letter, and then it kind of flashes back to when they bumped into each other in Chicago, and then she goes to the house. Once she gets to the house, it kind of gets interesting when she goes to visit Claire, and then you find out all about, like, more in depth about the relationship between Claire and her husband. And then after that, Irene's like, I can't be around that anymore. I don't want to be around that anymore. And she explains like why it's almost harmful to her to be around that, and how like she wants to distance herself from Claire. And then like Claire still somehow keeps popping in, and it's because she really wants to be part of that Black community culture, and wants to hang around, like, you know, people like herself. But then Irene starts having like other second thoughts about Claire and stuff like that, and I don't want to like spoil anything because that kind of goes into the ending and stuff, but it's quite interesting. But there were down moments, and for being only 114 pages, in my opinion, it should have been pedal to the metal. And maybe it was, and I just like missed a lot. That's totally possible. But anyway, that was that. I'm glad I read it, and I love this cover. So yeah, this will stay in my library, and I may even, like, after I educate myself more about Passing and about this time period and stuff like that, the Harlem Renaissance is something that I'm super interested in. So I'm going to continue picking up books like written in that time period and about that time period. And yeah, and so I may just like revisit this at a later date and like get even more out of it the second time around. But for now, done is done. Recently wrapped up Romance-a-thon, and I just need to wrap this up as well, sadly. But I did manage to read 2 really awesome books. I read this poetry collection, Black Movie. I told you my thoughts and feelings about this. I thought it was really strong. I really liked it. However, it was really short, and there was a 9-page, like, multiple entry poem about like Lion King that I didn't really like, so that's why I bumped this down from a 5-star. And then I also read Passing by Nella Larson, which is my second book that I've read that was written during the Harlem Renaissance, and I'm really finding that I'm really interested in that time period, and I'm trying to learn more about it. However, there's not really like good information out there about this on the internet, or maybe I'm just looking in the wrong places, but this one was kind of okay. I did have to pick up the audiobook of this, even though it is extremely short, but I still did that because for some reason I didn't think, like, even though it was written in 1929 and it's a small little novella, I didn't think it would read like a classic, but it really did. I think the story is really important. It had a lot of good information in there, and the ending was crazy, but I don't know if I would have got the ending had I not been listening to it on audiobook. So I highly recommend, if you're struggling to read this, to check it out on audiobook. But I think it's a really decent book, and I highly recommend this as well. I'm also going to pick up some other poetry by this poet in the future. So yeah, so while it wasn't super successful, I enjoyed what I read, and I hope to do more of these in the future, these like short little books, short little poetry collections type readings. But that's all for June's flashback reading vlog. Even though it was short, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, I will have another one in a couple of days for you. I hope you guys are having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again
soon. Bye.